Hello there, dear viewer. Today marks the start of another British summer heatwave, but that's beside the point because today I want to talk about Arrow Video. And more specifically, the question, are Arrow Video still a good boutique Blu-ray label? Because this question was posed to me by one of you, one of my viewers. They sent me a message which, let's say the tone of it was not so good. In fact, it was very negative. They were talking about all of the problems Arrow have had over the years with inconsistent releases, quality control issues, and they were saying that Arrow Video have moved away from their horror and slasher roots and are now releasing all sorts of stuff, most notably doing a lot of 4K upgrades, which I think all of that is true. But are they still a good label? And it's actually quite good timing because Arrow Video recently had a sale throughout the month of July. And I happened to pick up a few films on 4K, which I had missed when they first came out. So I'm going to talk about the films I've been watching, and you should get some idea of whether I think Arrow Video are still doing a good job or not. One of the discs I really wanted to get in the sale, because I think this is a truly underrated horror film, is William Peter Blatty's The Exorcist 3. Now this one does not get talked about enough because I think you could make a very strong case that this is almost as good, if not better, than the original Exorcist, which sounds absolutely crazy. Now I'm not sure I go that far, but this is damn good. This is William Peter Blatty, the original author of The Exorcist, taking on the helm. This film takes place 15 years after the original Exorcist, as we follow the same Lieutenant Kinderman, who was played by Lee J. Cobb, but is now played by George C. Scott. There are a string of murders going on by the notable Gemini killer, and the lieutenant believes that these might be related to the original case in the first Exorcist film. It's a film I have a real soft spot for, so I do recommend you seeking this one out. Now, Arrow Video did release this on Blu-ray a number of years ago, so there are questions around how much better is this than the older Blu-ray, and I think that's going to be down to your own views, because I thought the old Blu-ray was pretty good, and yes, there are improvements here with the addition of HDR, but honestly, it's not like watching a film completely anew. I believe all of the special features and certainly the artwork and the slipcover are just carried over from the old Blu-ray. So that is The Exorcist 3, but what about something else? Well, I also picked up Don't Torture a Duckling. This is Lucio Fulci's giallo masterpiece, and I have a real soft spot for this film as well. That's why I wanted to get it on 4K. If you have yet to watch any of the films from Lucio Fulci, this is a great place to start. Maybe you've watched some of the films from Dario Argento that Arrow Video have released on 4K. Then this could be a great place to continue your giallo journey. But is this one worth the upgrade over the old Arrow Video Blu-ray from 7 or 8 years ago? Well, in this case, I would say yes it is, because this is from a new 4K restoration. So there are major differences in the image here, and I think it looks very good indeed. Of course, there are imperfections here, I think due to how the film was made, and particularly when you look at the credits on the film, the images there aren't as good, but that is due to the actual credits being overlaid over the image. Again, most of the special features though are carried across, and they've decided to go with new artwork here compared to the old Blu-ray. I think I actually prefer how the older release looks, because I'm not sure this artwork particularly grabs me and makes me think of this film, to be honest, but that's just personal preference. But regardless, Don't Torture a Duckling is definitely a film I would recommend you watch if you have any interest in Italian genre cinema. And the 4K from Arrow Video is a great way to watch it. And yet another upgrade of a film I have already on Blu-ray from Arrow Video. It's Dressed to Kill, Brian De Palma's masterpiece, or one of them. And this is an upgrade of the old Blu-ray, which came out 12 years ago. So yes, this is definitely a new presentation, and I would say this one blows the old one out of the water. I'm so pleased with how this looks and sounds on the 4K. I do know Kino Lorber released this on 4K in the US. I never had a look at that disc, so I can't compare it to that, but I do know from what I've heard from other people, when Arrow Video have released a film that Kino Lorber already had done, like Silence of the Lambs, they tend to do a better job and fix issues that existed in the Kino Lorber disc. That's not me trying to pit two labels against each other, that's just what I've heard from other people who have compared the two. But anyway, Dressed to Kill, I love this film. Brian De Palma is a disciple of Hitchcock. Some people would even go as far to say he's an imitator, but I do think he does excellent work in the thriller genre. And just briefly going back to talking about gialli films like Don't Torture a Duckling or the Argento films, these Brian De Palma ones do make good companion pieces with those films just because of how they are constructed in very similar ways. I would not want to spoil anything about this film, so if you have not seen this, please just go and look it up and seek it out for yourself. But it does star Michael Caine. That's Michael Caine in a Brian De Palma film. You just can't miss it. So yeah, I'll quit blabbering about Dressed to Kill, but I was very pleased with the 4K upgrade on this, and I'm glad I got it, even though I had to wait for the sale. And continuing the 4K upgrade train from Arrow Video, we have Al Pacino in Cruising, the William Friedkin film which looked at the New York underground sex scene amongst gay men, where Al Pacino plays this police officer who is told to go deep undercover to find out who is doing these killings in the gay community. And again, we're talking about a great thriller here. I think this is an exceptional movie, and I think Friedkin was a very unique director in that he often would do these films which looked at these marginalized communities and would try to shine a light on some of the issues within those. You could look at something like The Boys in the Band, which he made before Cruising, and then he would go on to make The Exorcist and Sorcerer, but he made films like Cruising which had a lot of empathy. And yes, there are some controversial things around this movie. Some people said that it kind of portrays this scene in quite a negative light, which I'm not saying are not valid opinions, of course, but I do think it doesn't take away from the film, at least for me, because it is so thrilling and you really do feel the tension throughout the film. Now, Arrow Video released this on Blu-ray in 2018 or 2019, and this is from a new 4K restoration, and I have to say that this presentation is better than the older Blu-ray. So I'm very happy to have picked this one up. Now this is the limited edition hard case. I would have been happy enough with a thin Blu-ray case for this one, but you do get absolutely loads of extras on the included Blu-ray. There's so much on here. So I was very happy with this release. So those were the bits that I got in the recent Arrow Video sale. But to go back to that original question that was posed by the viewer, are Arrow Video still a good Blu-ray label? Then I would have to say yes, of course they are. Now, are there problems? Sure, but most labels have problems, or they have releases that are not for me or not for everyone. And even though quite a lot of their recent output has been these 4K upgrades of previous releases, thankfully they do a good job on the 4K upgrades, and there are still new things coming to their collection which have not been released by them before. But what do you think? Are you a big collector of Arrow Video? Do you think their approach to what they release has changed over the years for better or for worse? I'd love to hear your opinion, because I don't get too much opportunity to talk about Arrow Video discs in recent years because I just don't have as much access as I would like to the discs. I often have to wait for sales, and then usually I have to be quite choosy with what I do pick up, like these ones. I'd love to be in a position to review everything that they release because they do put out a ton of interesting things. But for now, I'm just picking up the ones that I think are essential to me, and I'm having a great time with these. If you would like some more reviews and recommendations from me, click the video that's on screen right now. Until next time, thanks very much for watching, and I will see you soon.